welcome to Fuddled Fox FM, my first Football Manager 2017 experiment. The premise of this experiment is to see who, out of La Liga and the Premier League, has got the most strength in depth with their teams. So effectively, who's the best league. To do that, what I've done is I've taken the bottom 10 teams from La Liga in terms of reputation, and I've swapped those with the top 10 teams based on reputation in the Premier League. If I go to the Premier League, effectively what we've got then is the 10 smallest English Premier League teams and the 10 smallest Spanish La Liga teams put all together into a 20-man league. So the Spanish teams that have come across are Deportivo Alaves, Osasuna, Deportivo La Coruña, Eibar, Granada, Las Palmas, Leganés, Malaga, Real Betis, Real Sporting Gijón. So that's the 10 Spanish teams. The English teams in there are Bournemouth, Burnley, Crystal Palace, Hull, Middlesbrough, Stoke, Swansea, Watford and West Brom. So as I say, I based it on the reputations of the clubs in Football Manager. Then if I go to the Liga, you can see the 10 top English sides are in there. So that's Arsenal, Chelsea, Everton, Leicester, Liverpool, Man City, Manchester United, Southampton, Tottenham and West Ham. What I also did was I loaded the Icelandic League, which enabled me to set a start date as the beginning of May. So what I hope is that then the Spanish clubs that are now in the Premier League will benefit. They'll get the TV money from the English Premier League, which should just even things up a little bit. So basically now it's just a case of playing through the season on holiday, and so here we are on the 31st of May 2017. We start with the Premier League. We have a very English heavy top 10, I'd say, of the Premier League. Certainly top 5 is all English. West Brom were champions, quite a way ahead of Stoke actually. Bournemouth then got third place, point behind Stoke. Burnley got the final Champions League place in fourth. Crystal Palace then got a Europa League place by finishing fifth. The first Spanish side was Deportivo La Coruña, Betis just behind them, with Watford, who it says qualified for Europa League, but that's because the Spanish sides can't qualify through the English League. Just a quirk in just swapping the teams round. We then have quite a block after Watford of Spanish sides with Alaves, Las Palmas, Eibar, Malaga and Granada making up the mid-table teams. When we get to the lower half, Hull and Sunderland, then Sunderland won the League Cup. That's where their qualification for the Europa League comes from. Osasuna and Gijón just finished above the relegation zone, with then Leganés finishing in the first relegation place. Swansea and Middlesbrough finished in the bottom two, quite a way off the safety actually when you look at it in the end. So if we take a look at some of the player stats, so the top scorer in the league was Troy Deeney with 22 goals, followed by Sergi Enrique of Eibar, who had 21 goals. Rondon got 20 goals, Berahino 20 goals as well for Stoke. Loic Remy got 19, Callum Wilson with 18, Kike of Eibar got 17 and Adrien Ramos got 17 as well. Most assists was Nasser Chadli of West Brom, with Matt Phillips just behind him. Daniel Torres was the best of the Spanish teams in terms of creating goals with 11 assists. Sergio Alves as well with 11 assists for Sporting Gijón. Joel Ward had 10 assists for Crystal Palace. Jack Wilshere 10 assists for Bournemouth. Sigurdsson 10 assists as well. Fran Merida had 9 for Osasuna. So we'll take a look at the highest rated player. So the highest rated player was from a Spanish side, and it was Ignacio Camacho with a 7.38. Callum Chambers was joint with 7.38 as well for Middlesbrough, and Mamadou Sakho as well had a 7.38 for Crystal Palace. Steve Cook just behind him with a 7.32, and Patrick of Bournemouth with a 7.3. I think it'd be interesting to take a look at the team stats as well. Could be a few interesting stats there. West Brom are actually the top scorers First time they've probably in a long time they've been the top scorers in any league with 69 goals. Bournemouth was second with 64, Stoke third with 62. Then Deportivo Alaves with 55, Eibar with 52, Burnley 51, Crystal Palace 51 and Hull 50. So certainly the English sides were the highest scorers this season. I mean, Hull had a pretty poor season, just finishing above the relegation zone, and they still got 50 goals. Take a look at who had the best defence. Real Betis then had the best defence, with Malaga just behind them in second place. So that's quite interesting. Two Spanish teams there with the best defenders. They're followed by Burnley, West Brom and Bournemouth. Crystal Palace as well, before we have the next Spanish team, which is Deportivo La Coruña, and Watford complete the top 10. I take a look at the possession. Obviously Spanish sides renowned for being possession based sides and technical teams, and there we go. All 8 teams with the most possession were all English. Bournemouth and Watford, West Brom, Stoke, Crystal Palace, Sunderland, Burnley and Middlesbrough. We always imagine Spanish sides having the technical players, being the technical teams that play passing football. Well, 8 of the 10 English sides were the best in terms of average possession. So we'll take a look at La Liga now and see what happened there. So Real Madrid were champions, with Atletico Madrid just behind them, a point off. Arsenal were the best English side, finishing third. Pretty impressive result actually by them. Barcelona completed the top 4, so it's much tighter. The top 4 teams there only separated by 3 points. Manchester City, Manchester United and Tottenham got the Europa League places, followed by Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham. So a real block there of 6 English sides in the sort of upper mid-table. Then have a few Spanish sides with Valencia, Atletico, Bilbao, Sevilla and Espanyol, the mid-table sides. Southampton just stayed up, a point clear of the relegation zone, as were Leicester, as were Villarreal. Then the teams relegated, 2 Spanish sides here, Real Sociedad and Celta Vigo, with Everton finishing bottom, and quite clearly bottom as well, finishing 9 points from safety. So we'll have a look at the player stats, see what was going on. So top scorer was Lionel Messi with 22 goals in the league. Harry Kane only one goal behind him with 21, so a good performance by him. Antonio Griezmann had 20 goals. Simone Zaza, much maligned player, 19 goals. Kevin Gamero for Atletico Madrid, 19 goals. Sergio Aguero had 18, as did Zlatan Ibrahimovic, and as did Gareth Bale. So probably more Spanish-based players than English-based. Really good performance by Harry Kane though to get 21 goals, only finishing 1 goal behind Lionel Messi. Mesut Ozil got the most assists, joint with Toni Kroos, 13 each. Adam Lallana, good season for him, 12 assists. Juan Mata, 12 assists as well. Sol for Atletico Madrid had 11, as did De Bruyne for Manchester City. Gundogan had 10, and Mark Noble, good performance by him as well, 10 assists, completes that list. Highest average rating, Lionel Messi, 8.27. It's a really good season from him, as you'd expect. No Ronaldo on any of these lists, so Mesut Ozil had a 7.93. Gerard Piqué 7.9, Sergio Ramos 7.82, Juan Mata completed the top 5 with 7.77. Lionel Messi had 11 man of the matches. Juan Mata had a good season, he had 10 man of the matches as well. If we take a look at the team overall, Arsenal were the top goal scorers with 76 goals, so again really good performance by them. They must have spread the goals out well, outscoring Real Madrid and Barcelona. Atletico Madrid were 4th with 68, Tottenham had 65, Liverpool 63, Man United 61, Man City 59. So again, the same as in the Premier League, more English sides in the top scorers list. Best defence, Real Madrid. Surprising that one actually. I mean, they got good defenders, but you wouldn't have necessarily said them being the best defence. Atletico Madrid, second best defence. Manchester United did well in coming third, conceding 1 less than Manchester City. Arsenal conceded 43, Chelsea only 44, Liverpool 48 and Barcelona 48. So have a look at the best average possession. Barcelona winners of that one, as you'd probably expect, 56.58%. Not much ahead of Real Madrid though, at 56%. You know, it's much higher percentages than in the Premier League. Much more possession based teams, as you would expect for the better quality sides. Manchester City were third, Atletico Madrid fourth, Liverpool, then Arsenal, Manchester United and Chelsea coming in eighth. So I was thinking the best way of coming to a conclusion as to which is the stronger league, and I decided that the best way to do it was probably to total up all the points scored by the Spanish teams and all the points scored by the English teams, get a total and see who had the most. So Spain came out with 954 points, whereas the Premier League came out with 1,083 points, so scoring 129 points more than the Spanish teams over the two leagues. So I think really we're going to have to call this for the English sides of having more strength in depth. So thanks for watching. If you've got any other leagues you'd like me to compare in a similar way, let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed what you've seen, subscribe. I've got a Journeyman series going on at the moment while I'm currently at Oxford United. So I'm Fuddled Fox FM. Thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon.